we're now in a situation where the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before the U.S.-Israeli war, is now effectively a toll booth, and one that I don't see Iran relinquishing anytime soon. And again, in the midst of this ceasefire, military operations are continuing, including the Gulf states, where the kind of tacit agreement between Iran and its Gulf neighbors not to fight against each other has now worn off. Something that we've also been writing about is the risk that we have a kind of a corridor of conflict emerging, whereby the Russia-Ukraine war, now in its fourth year, is starting to overlap and become intertwined with the war in the Middle East, including the rather extraordinary development of Ukrainian President Zelensky being welcomed with red carpet treatment last week, or was it over the weekend, in Syria, as well as with the Gulf states, where Ukraine is sharing its knowledge about drone technology, because of course they've been on the sharp end of that because Russia uses Iranian drones. So this is how you get to World War III.
We have to keep in mind, when markets react to crises and geopolitical crises, we have to remember they don't reflect the outlook, but rather the flow of money. So why do we see the resiliency right now? I think there are really three reasons. Number one, and critically, credit markets are very well behaved still. And they were pretty resilient, and now they have even given back some of the relatively modest impact. I think that's understandable because we haven't really seen major negative impact on the flow of money right now. We haven't seen lenders retrench dramatically. They have tightened their standards a little bit, but it's really been very incremental. But it is important to keep in mind that that can change on a dime. So any single significant event in credit markets can be sufficient to bring the market into another regime.
The issue that emerges from the Iranian war very, very clearly is, can you put any trust in American security guarantees, whether you're Japanese or Korean or European? So if the Americans do give some sort of security guarantee, which one assumes they would, at the end of a Russo-Ukrainian war, does anybody trust that? Do the Russians think it's serious? Should the Europeans take it seriously? They know they don't have the capability to kind of enforce a permanent peace without American support for the next several years. But, are we all conniving at a fiction that any American security guarantees given to end the Russo-Ukrainian conflict are worth the paper that they would be written on?
All of these crises have the same structural feature, which is that there was behind all of them an actor with the capacity and critically incentive to hold the circuit breaker. Markets, in modern financial understanding and parlance, markets have never priced in the absence of a stabilizer. It's not in. It's clearly implicit in every form of stress test that boards and regulators require in financial markets. But now we've got to a situation where fundamentally we've got evidence that capacity to absorb that shock, that backstop, is not only an actor who's missing now, but is actually in some ways a provocateur.